You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. That's a lot of love. And that's the kind of love that Jesus implores us to have today. In our gospel, he's asked, which is the first of all commandments? And love for God is his immediate response. But what does it really mean to love God? How exactly is that supposed to look in our day-to-day life? It's an interesting thought, loving God, because in one sense, sure, God's a good guy, I love him, yeah, and okay then, I guess we're all set. I checked that one off my list. I love God. Yeah, but maybe not quite. I mean, Jesus clearly points out that we're supposed to love God with all our heart, all our soul, all our mind, all our strength, and that seems like a big thing, something much bigger than just throwing around a, hey, sure, I love God every once in a while. But here's the dilemma, right? When we think about loving God, for some, maybe it's kind of an abstract thing, like loving a person I've never met, or trying to imagine really caring for something that I've never seen. Maybe for you, God is kind of just this guy up there somewhere, that you kind of sort of think about or care about, but sometimes you're not, so sure about too. And if we think about our connection, or lack thereof, with God in that way, it makes some sense as to how we might struggle or grasp to actually, call this a love of him. But part of the reason I think that Jesus puts out such a robust message today is because he didn't want that to be the case. He didn't want our relationship with God to be caring-ish. He wanted it to be strong. He wanted it to be meaningful. He wanted it to be love. The kind of love that truly is significant. The kind of love that changes who you are and how you act. That's what Jesus is saying when he declares, you shall love the Lord your God. So how then do we do that? Well, just like any other relationship, it takes a bit of effort. It takes some wanting to spend time with God, sitting down to talk to him, having a cup of coffee in the morning and having a chat with him, offering up my desires or goals or worries for that day, asking him to help whenever and however he can. Or maybe you just want to reminisce, looking back on all those big moments that God has had with you or even has had with the world, evoking memories of the fact that he really and truly has given you everything. He saved you, offering life and salvation. That's a big deal. And it's all because he loves you, which just maybe might evoke some powerful love in return. When it comes down to it, the love we have for God is always a reflection of the love that he's already shown to us. And thankfully, that gives us a lot to reflect. But we need to be sure that we do it, and to do it as often as we can, hopefully in tangible ways. And that might come in following God's teachings or living up to the second big commandment, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. But it might also come in some lovey kind of ways, taking the time to sit down and maybe write a love note to God. How powerful would that be, Putting into words why you love him, why you care, just like you might with someone else that's so special to you. Lent is a perfect time to take a look at this relationship, to consider if and how I've been caring to God. However you decide to show your affection, however you choose to love God, do it well. Get to know each other, share that real relationship together, and then go for it. Love the Lord your God, and try your best to do it not in some intangible, abstract, blah kind of way, but with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. Love God and love him for real.